वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
तथा स्वभाग ध्येयानि तथा स्वभागधेयानि तथा साध्य भद्रं ते
तथा साधय भद्रं ते
तथा साधय भद्रं ते
तथा साधय भद्रं ते
आत्मानं सुप्रजं नृपा।
आत्मानं सुकृतं नृप।
इष्टस्ते पुत्र कामस्य
इष्टते पुत्रकामस्य
पुत्रं दास्यति यज्ञभुक्।
पुत्रं दास्यति यज्ञभुः।
तथा साधय भद्रं ते
तथा साधय भद्रं ते
आत्मानं सुप्रजं नृपा।
आत्मानं सुकृतं नृप।
इष्टस्ते पुत्र कामस्य
इष्टस्ते पुत्रकामस्य
पुत्रं दास्यति यज्ञभुक्।
पुत्रं दास्यति यज्ञभुः। तथा साधय भद्रं ते
तथा साधय भद्रं ते
आत्मानं सुप्रजं नृप।
आत्मानं सुप्रजं नृप।
इष्टस्ते पुत्रकामस्य
इष्टस्ते पुत्र कामस्य
पुत्रं दास्यति यज्ञभुः। पुत्रं दास्यति यज्ञभुः।
Someone else?
तथा साधस्य भद्रं ते
तथा साधय भद्रं ते आत्मानं सुप्रजं नृप।
इष्टस्ते पुत्रकामस्य
इष्टस्ते पुत्र कामस्य
पुत्रं दास्यति यज्ञभुः।
पुत्रं दास्यति यज्ञभुक्। माताजी।
तथा साधय भद्रं ते
तथा साधय भद्रं ते
आत्मानं नृप।
आत्मानं सुप्रजं नृप।
इष्टस्ते पुत्रकामस्य
इष्टस्ते पुत्र कामस्य
पुत्रं दास्यति यज्ञभुः।
पुत्रं दास्यति यज्ञभुक्। तथा साधय भद्रं ते आत्मानं सुप्रजं नृप। इष्टस्ते पुत्र कामस्य पुत्रं दास्यति यज्ञभुक्। तथा therefore sadhaya execute the sacrifice to get bhadram good fortune te to you atmanam your own suprajam good son nripa o king ishtaha being worshipped te by you putra kamasya desiring to have a son putram a son dasyati he will deliver yajnabhuk the lord the enjoyer of the sacrifice. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Abhay Charanarinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. O King, we wish all good fortune for you. You have no son, but if you pray at once to the Supreme Lord and ask for a son, and if you execute the sacrifice for that purpose, the enjoyer of the sacrifice, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, will fulfill your desire. Go to the next one. Just read through. तथा स्वभाग ध्येयानि ग्राहिष्यन्ति दिवौकसः यद्यज्ञ पुरुषः साक्षात् अपत्याय हरिर्वृतः. When Hari, the supreme enjoyer of all sacrifices, is invited to fulfill a desire for a son, all the demigods will come with him and take their shares in the sacrifice. Purport. Whenever a sacrifice is performed, it is meant for satisfying Lord Vishnu, the enjoyer of the fruits of all sacrifices. And when Lord Vishnu agrees to come to a sacrificial arena, all the demigods will naturally follow, sorry, all the demigods naturally follow their master, and their shares are offered in such sacrifices. The conclusion is that the sacrifices performed are meant for Lord Vishnu, not for the demigods. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Chakshurinmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Sapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagan Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Bhajana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sanglita Shri Vishakanitamsya He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanustite Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyo Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Mukham Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yat Kripatamaham Vande Shri Gurum Dinataranam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Thanks. So, with no qualification to speak, I pray that by all of your mercy, I can start my devotional service. So, this is a very special time of the year. Actually, when we all became devotees, no, I'm sure we all remember our first Kartik, right? Or our first trip to Vrindavan. And we really relished that experience, and it was really ecstatic, it was fun, and it was very enlivening also. But as we go forward in Krishna consciousness, we realize that bhakti, devotional service, is actually a sacrifice. Tapo divyam, it is a divine austerity to please the Supreme Lord. So the more and more we come to that realization, more and more we come close to the heart of pure devotion. There is devotion, there is pure devotion. So we want pure devotion. Just like water is only relishable to the extent that it is pure. If it's not pure, it is not relishable. If it has no purity, it is not water anymore. So same way, it is very important for us to uh, understand what is pure devotion. Prahlad Maharaj says it is very common in this world for people to exchange devotional service for lusty desire. This is a very heavy statement actually. What does lusty desire mean? Lusty desire means anything except love of God is lusty desire. When we go to Krishna and ask for anything except pure devotion, that is lust. So here in the context of this verse, here when we see in Bhagavatam that the kings are performing sacrifices to get children, that is not at all any material desire, but in those days, because kings were actually following the principles of pure devotional service, because king is a leader. Like the king of Jagannath Puri, when he would walk, the citizens would take dust from his feet. So that much respect uh, the kings had in those days. So akama sarva kama va moksha kama udarati. Tivrena bhakti yogena yajeta purusham param. So when we first come to devotional service, we say that no problem, you can have um, whatever desire you would like, but just sincerely worship the Supreme Lord. In the initial time, that really works. Why? Because we're new to devotional service. When you're new to devotional service, we have a natural respect for everything. We have a natural value for everything because we never saw something like that in the material world. Therefore, uh, it's very powerful. But as time goes by, we realize uh, that actually devotional service, pure devotional service, uh, is awarded, it is not attained. Pure devotional service is a privilege, it is not a right. Therefore, we become more and more conscious of how much we are doing for Krishna. Initially, we may ask Krishna for so many things, but the more and more we realize what Krishna is doing for us, the more we want to sacrifice. Like Srila Prabhupada says in a lecture, there's a constant competition between the Supreme Lord and the devotee. The Lord constantly puts situations to reveal to the world how his devotee is so wonderful, is so pure. But the devotee's promise is that I will not take anything from Krishna. I will not accept anything from Krishna, but rather I will sacrifice everything for Krishna. So that is the mood of our Sampradaya. And in this competition, Prabhupada says that this is actually this competition, the origin of this competition is the competition between Radha and Krishna. So the key point in this verse, in verse number 32, is the enjoyer of the sacrifice is Krishna. Krishna is the enjoyer. So that has to be firmly rooted in the heart that Krishna is the only enjoyer. So in this month, the most important thing is to place that principle in our heart that Krishna is the only enjoyer. And we are meant to enjoy by uh, being enjoyed by Him. So, more and more, we have to cultivate that desire. We have to cultivate that desire that Krishna, please, may I give enjoyment to your senses. May my senses be engaged in your service so that your senses will be gratified. All our acharyas, they actually have this mood. In every single aspect of devotional service, whether we may be beginning, whether we may be more advanced, or whether we may be, or I'm not, but even pure devotees, for pure devotees, our acharyas have set the example, given the instructions. So yesterday we were discussing about Dhruva Maharaj, how Dhruva Maharaj had a material desire. But what was his qualification? His qualification was that he followed instructions of Narad Muni as it is. So this is a very important qualification that we have to follow the instructions as it is. And we follow as it is, however full we may be. Prabhupada says, however rascal we may be, if we follow the instructions, we somewhere, something will actually catch our heart. Like nowadays, somehow, by the mercy of the Guru Parampara, I am really realizing the power of Srila Prabhupada. Because Sometimes we take Prabhupada for granted. Yes, Prabhupada is here. No, he is just like there are so many other deities. Prabhupada is also a deity. Whenever I pay obeisances, I put flower. I don't know whether Prabhupada is there or not. But when we will actually get mercy of Srila Prabhupada, we will be able to realize his position. Realize his position. Prabhupada's position is incredible, incredibly incredible. Prabhupada's potency is incredible. If you just hear one lecture of Srila Prabhupada, just one lecture, 20 minutes, just give 20 minutes of time, your consciousness will be completely changed, completely transformed. Just 20 minutes. I speak for myself, but Maya is so powerful that I don't give that 20 minutes. I say, no, 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 that's okay, that's okay. I need to do this, I need to eat, I need to sleep, you know. But the seed of pure devotion is actually Shuddha Bhakata Charana Renu, the dust of the feet of the devotee. In Guru Puja, two lines are very important, right? Two lines are very important. Uh, that uh, Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chitite Korya Aikya. My only desire is to be purified by the words emanating from his lotus mouth. My only desire. That is very powerful. And Sri Guru Charani Rati Ehise Uttamagati. Attachment to the lotus feet of the spiritual master fulfills all desires. Fulfills all desires. So these two lines are very, very important. So the next verse uh, speaks about how um, when Krishna enjoys something, then when Krishna accepts something, then the purpose for which the sacrifice is done, that purpose will be achieved when Krishna accepts. This is a very powerful statement actually. When Krishna accepts. In this month, we have to be very conscious of this, that we are generally conscious of whether others are accepting, whether others are accepting my kirtan, others are accepting my class, others are accepting my offering, or others are even accepting my obeisance. But in this month, we have to be conscious. We have to train ourselves to be conscious that is Krishna accepting or not? Is Krishna pleased or not? And before that, is Srila Prabhupada pleased? This is the Yosha Rose is very powerful. That when Krishna accepts our service, Krishna accepts us. What does that mean? Karman nirdahati kinchuta bhakti vaja. When Krishna accepts our service, Krishna takes control of our life. Then what happens? Then our life goes according to Krishna's plan, not according to our karma's plan. But for that, we have to try our best to surrender fully. Whoever agents in our life are there who are representing Krishna, whoever in our life are there are representing Krishna, we should try to surrender to all the agents of Krishna who are representing Krishna. That's very important. The Shiksha Guru, the Diksha Guru, and to the devotees. So, in this month, speaking for myself, we need to cultivate certain things. The first thing we need to cultivate is we should be conscious, train ourselves to be conscious of our consciousness. Generally, we are very much externally conscious, but in this month, we have to be internally conscious. So when we become internally conscious, naturally, it's a very humbling experience because generally we are uh, trained to, you know, judge things by the fruit. If I'm doing this nicely, like for myself also, right? If suppose someday my japa is good, then I think that wow, I'm great, I'm amazing. Yeah. But according to Shastra, we should not see uh, like that, but we should see actually what is the state of our consciousness. If my consciousness is in the mode of passion, even though I may have a good day of japa, the modes of material nature will act in that way. The modes of material nature will not vanish all of a sudden. Therefore, I need to act in such a way that I can come to this standard of pure devotion. Because to hold pure devotion, to stay at the level of pure devotion, it requires adhikar. And what is the first adhikar in bhakti? The first adhikar is honesty. We need to be honest with ourselves, with Krishna, and need to take a humble position. Then next thing will come, we'll become very prayerful. Become very prayerful, become prayerful, we put faith. Why we have to pray? We have to pray because we need help, we need strength, we need spiritual strength. So we become prayerful and we put unflinching faith in our spiritual master. We put complete dependence. Then, with that mode, when we serve slowly, first thing which will happen is our ego will be purified. First, our ego will be purified, then ultimately we will become free from false ego. So, what is the symptom of freedom from false ego? Symptom of freedom from false ego is absorption. When you are absorbed, completely absorbed, then that is freedom from false ego. So this is the first things we have to achieve that. And then comes gratitude. Become grateful. Become grateful for we realize the position of Guru, the position of Krishna, the position of the pure devotees. We are grateful. We are very grateful. Why? Because we experience something special in their presence by their mercy. And then we have a desire that actually whatever I have done so far is nothing. I want to sacrifice more. I want to serve more. I want to surrender more. And in that state, what happens? Bhagavatam says one becomes repentant. One becomes repentant. And Prabhupada says when you become repentant, when you repent, and in that state, as you repent and as you're getting purified, that is when Prabhupada says the material energy gets transformed into spiritual energy. Mahamaya gets transformed into Yogamaya. And I'm sure the moment you start becoming humble and you say to Krishna that Krishna, I have no hope. The moment you become like this, immediately you see that, mm, immediately or soon you say that there is some mercy. So I like this very much, this song very much by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Uh, Hari He Prapanche Podiya. That is the name of the song. Bhaktivinoda Thakur wrote 10 songs for the 10 verses of Nectar of Instruction. So this is the first song. It's very beautiful. So in the translation, it said, I mean, in the verse it is said, uh, अनेक जतने शेषव दमने छाड़ियाची आशा आमी आना तेरा नाथ ढाकी तव नाम एकोन भरोसा तुमी. After great endeavor to subdue these material demands, I have completely given up all hope. O Lord of the destitute, I call upon your holy name, for now you are my only shelter. Only shelter. This is very important. Prabhupada also says that this is what I'm speaking, nothing is mine. This is just the words of the pure devotees. And the goal of this class is so that the pure devotees can be satisfied and I can become closer to their heart. So, Prabhupada also says this that Haha Prabhu Nanda Sutta Vrishabhanu Sutta Juta Karuna Koro Eva. So Prabhupada says that, my Lord, uh, I have nothing except you in my life. Therefore, please don't neglect me, because I have no other shelter. If you, where will I go? So when we have that kind of mood, we develop that kind of surrender, that Krishna, I am willing to do whatever you say. Authorities, I want to do whatever you are saying. So when we have that mood, then uh, we get the mercy. We get the mercy. And we, what we desire from this Kartik month is to transform our life. Transform our life. So initially, Kartik or going to Dham may be very ecstatic, like very enjoyable. But then, as we become more and more conscious of the gap between our devotion and the pure devotion, then we see there's a lot of work to be done. There's a lot of work to be done. And the first work which has to be done is actually sense control. That's the first work which has to be done. Prabhupada says the root of enthusiastic devotion is Shravanam Kirtanam. And Prabhupada says the reason why our Shravanam Kirtanam is not absorbed, is not focused, is because the senses by nature are attracted to, speaking for myself, the senses are attracted to sense objects. Therefore, the first thing we have to do is we have to avoid contact of the senses and the sense objects. That is the first prerequisite for, that's why Vachavegam is mentioned. Then the next thing is that we have to be grateful. We have to be grateful. The more we express gratitude in our life, the more we can take advantage of that thing. And to be grateful, to realize value, we have to be in association. We have to take association. And that's why we have to little slow down our life. Slow down. What is the main reason why our life is so much on mechanical platform? Speaking for myself, because of our speech. The speech is the main reason. When we speak now, we'll speak somewhere, we'll speak something in mode of passion, then finish. Because of that speech, now we are no more peaceful. We have to be peaceful actually. Peace is very important. The mind is peaceful. The mind is like a, what is it? Still water. Then what happens? Then you can start meditation. So first the mind should be peaceful, and then after that we have to slowly arrange our time so that we live our life in blocks. So when you live your life in blocks, you can absorb yourself. When you are just running here, running there, then it's very difficult to cultivate absorption. Like for example, please, please forgive me. Running here, running there. So when we are running here, running there, when we schedule our life in that way, then what happens is we cannot cultivate absorption. So we're always talking about this, talking about that. We talk anytime, we talk about anything. And in this way, what happens, listening for myself, no, we cannot actually come to the essence of pure devotion. What is the essence of pure devotion? That is to remember Krishna, to love Krishna. And actually, Prabhupada is very merciful. Prabhupada is very merciful. Why? Because Prabhupada wants the highest thing for us today, not tomorrow. That's what Prabhupada wants for us. If you read Prabhupada's books, we understand that Prabhupada is very, very eager for us to attain very high states of devotional service today. Therefore, since Prabhupada has that desire for us, and Prabhupada is our dear most well-wishing friend and our spiritual teacher. Therefore, we need to cultivate this living in mode of goodness, living in mode of goodness, talking in mode of goodness, working in mode of goodness. So when we do these things, then slowly, as we become more and more prayerful, what happens is we get inspiration from Super Soul. When we do things with inspiration from Super Soul, from Krishna in the heart, from Guru in the heart, then what happens is that helps us to develop attraction. Attraction. See, like yesterday I was reading Bhagavatam. I'm just quoting what I read from Bhagavatam. This is Prabhupada's instruction to us. Prabhupada is not saying that this is meant for super exalted devotees, for new devotees, not, but Prabhupada is saying this for everyone. This is a very important purport. Prabhupada is saying that a devotee continues his regular service, you know, externally, but internally he thinks of the Lord in the particular mellow that he wants to relate with the Lord. And then Prabhupada says that this is the qualification for going back to Godhead. Then Prabhupada says that as one cultivates this meditation, one will attain his perfection. So this is Prabhupada's purport, seventh canto. I forget the verse. So when Prabhupada is speaking like this, means it is Prabhupada's order. Prabhupada's purports are like his order that we need to do what Prabhupada is saying. So how will we cannot artificially attain that, but how we can attain that? Yes, by absorption. When we collect uh, inspiration from pure devotees, if we hear pure devotees, we serve pure devotees. Both these things. When we can do both these things, whatever service it may be just paying obeisances. But when we pay obeisances with gratitude, with great feeling of like that I feel it's a great privilege mm, to have this opportunity to become a pure devotee, to have a loving exchange with Krishna, then that same obeisance um, will reciprocate differently. So the more we associate with pure devotees, the Prabhupada says real attachment to the Lord can only be born by constant association with pure devotees. So when we take time to associate with pure devotees and serve pure devotees, then we feel something in our heart. We may not feel like exalted devotees, like His Grace Ruksha Prabhu, but we'll definitely feel something, some enthusiasm. And that enthusiasm will enthuse us to actually go deeper and deeper and deeper into this subject of uh, Krishna consciousness. Everyone has something in bhakti that Krishna has arranged to bring him back to Godhead. Just like some people it may be deity worship, some people it may be hearing, some people it may be chantings. So there is an atmosphere that Krishna creates according to the predicament, according to the particular, um, nature of every living entity, so he can come to him. So when we recognize that, we should hold on to that, should hold on to that, should hold on to that. And the more and more we hold on to that, more and more we become interested in Krishna, we become interested in developing our attraction towards Krishna. So this is the purpose of this month, to raise our consciousness, raise our awareness of what we already have. We don't have to do 100 things in this month. We don't have to, but whatever we have, If we can gain full appreciation for that, that is a great, great achievement. Because then what will happen? We'll start becoming more conscious of what we're doing on a daily basis. See, the more we become conscious now, the more magical things will start happening. Because when you start becoming conscious, then you are making Krishna also more conscious. When you do things consciously, Krishna becomes more reciprocative. Guru becomes more reciprocative. And as a result of that, you become free from the grips of Maya. See, what is Maya doing speaking for Maya? Is full things for me only. What Maya does, when we are inattentive, Maya presents objects to distract us when we are inattentive. If we are fully attentive, Maya will not do. Whatever subconscious impression is there in the mind, that is the same object that Maya presents to us. But if we are strongly cultivating Krishna consciousness, then Maya will not present that object to us. Or even if Maya presents that object, because of our sincerity, Maya will present, Krishna will also present. Many of you may have observed this, right? Sometimes when we're feeling low in Krishna, but Krishna will arrange at that particular time some devotee will come smile at us. There's some ecstatic incident will be going on. As a result of that, our consciousness will be immediately raised. And from the within, a voice will be saying, "Don't worry, everything will be wonderful." So, if we are simply very serious in our Krishna consciousness and we're very grateful, and we're always praying that Krishna, how can I be enthusiastic? What can I do to be enthusiastic? Neither we want to uh, become the controller and do all the services, and neither we want to, nor do we want to become passive also. Because if we are passive, that is also not good. So we have to be fully active in Krishna consciousness, but we have to be active in a humble mode. So if we do what Krishna wants us to do, we will naturally be enthusiastic. When we're enthusiastic, we'll be grateful. When we're very grateful, then naturally what others have or don't have doesn't matter to us because we're grateful what we have. And then when we're very grateful, we're very enthusiastic, then our intelligence is very strong. Because Divya Gyan Hriday Prakashito, when we're very enthusiastic, then Krishna become very enthusiastic. So in this way, we become very excited in Krishna consciousness, and as a result of that, we also become detached from our the results of our service, from whatever name and fame or whatever may come. So in this way, we become successful in Krishna consciousness. We are accepted by Krishna. We are accepted by the pure devotees. From within our heart, we feel great love for the pure devotees. This is the most important thing. This is the most important thing. Absorption in Krishna consciousness means our consciousness, speaking for myself, it becomes more and more internal, becomes more and more absorbed. It becomes more and more prayerful. So that is the purpose. That is the purpose. We become more and more dependent on grace. So I mentioned Sri Ramnath Maharaj's visit, three things that I wrote down. That first thing is actually sense control. Sense control has a great value in devotional service. As much as we can try, sense control. And second is that acting without a desire for reciprocation. That means it's like Krishna told the gopis that be satisfied with your sacrifice. Because Krishna says, even in a day of Brahma, I cannot repay. Na pare. So cultivating that uh, taste in our service, when we do our service to the best of our ability, then it will give us great satisfaction. And the third thing is acting in such a way to not desire respect. Acting in such a way, not desiring respect. So these three things, so when these three things are there, when we're fully grounded, you know, fully grounded, then we can make steady progress in devotions. So yeah, it is a great, it's a great benediction for us that we have um, our spiritual master in our life, because only by the mercy of the Guru do we get the opportunity for pure devotional service. So we need to constantly serve the lotus feet of the spiritual master by following his instructions, by hearing from him, and by aspiring to just be a speck of dust at his lotus feet. So the more and more we cultivate this mood, the more and more Krishna will give us the mercy. Guru will give us the mercy. So we should always be praying in this month, or for all time actually, that am I pleasing my spiritual master? Am I, is my mind, is my intelligence working according to the way he wants it to work? So if we think like that, then it will be a great transformation this month of Kartik. And naturally, we will be more respectful towards the devotees. Actually, one thing I have learned in my so many whatever years of Krishna consciousness is that sensitivity is a great benediction in bhakti. If we become sensitive, that is a great benediction. It will save us a lot of trouble. What is Vaishnav etiquette or Vaishnav avoiding Vaishnav pride? It is not just a formality. No, it is actually aspiring to act in such a way that will melt the heart of the devotees, that they will give their blessing. Not that you have to ask for blessing, but they will pour their blessing. And the purpose of being sensitive is to come to the platform of praying for their welfare. That I am willing to sacrifice anything according to my capacity so that this devotee can attain pure devotion. Okay, this devotee spoke something. Maybe, whatever his mind may not be due to, maybe he's tired. So, small things make a big difference. And that same sensitivity will come in our relationship with Krishna. When we are sensitive to devotees, Krishna will become sensitive to us. So, I'm speaking for myself that we need to be very careful in our relationship with devotees. If we can please devotees, we can make great progress in bhakti. The secret to making progress in bhakti is to please devotees. The easy way. Of course, so many other things are there, but if you want to quickly and very easily make progress in bhakti, just try to please the devotees. Just try to please them. First, pray to please them. If you just pray to please them, by doing that only, you will make a lot of progress. So, especially our speech. Our speech is the only thing, basically. See, even if we're not able to control our senses, we're eating we're not able to control our tongue, we're eating so much, whatever. If we simply control our speech, if we control our speech, take special care to control our speech, then what will happen? Devotees will be merciful towards us just by doing this one thing. Of course, it doesn't mean that we speak sweetly and we don't do anything. It doesn't mean that. But we speak sweetly and we try to act according to what we're saying. Devotees will be very merciful on us. And that kripa is very powerful. Very powerful. That kripa will keep us rooted in Krishna consciousness. So, yeah, in this month, let's um, speak for myself, try to come to the platform of goodness, equanimity. You know. Prabhupada writes, for wherever there are devotees who are very peaceful, equipoised, mm, mm, and devotees and who are equipoised devotees who are beyond duality, who are well behaved, uh, that place, Prabhupada says, uh, is purified, is purified. So if we follow the principles very carefully, and we try to act in mode of goodness, then what will happen is we'll create a very wonderful environment around us. And that environment is very much necessary to absorb our mind in Krishna. Absorb our mind in Krishna, and that way we can be successful. So that's what I wanted to speak today. I have no realization qualification. I'm speaking to please the pure devotees, and I'm speaking so that I can apply. I don't follow anything. I'm very, very fallen. So I beg blessings of all of you that I can apply what I said, and I can genuinely aspire to develop the Vaishnava qualities. I can sincerely um, develop absorption, cultivate um, focus, and so that whatever I speak, whatever I do, can actually please Krishna, can actually please the authorities, please Shiv Prabhu, all the devotees, and not just doing something for the sake of doing it, and doing it so that I can get it done. So I pray that I can come out of this defect. Please forgive if I spoke anything wrong or inappropriate. Vanchakalpatarubhyasya kripasindubhya vachakalpalam pavanebhyo Vaishnava. Anantakoti Vaishnava Jai Srila Prabhupada. Anyone has any question or comment? Online, anyone has any question or comment?
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Nandapana Prabhuji. Very, very nice class. Very, very nice to meditate on this Kartik Mass. What you spoke today. Be repentant. I like that point. And be always conscious of your consciousness. Thank you, Prabhu. So many points to meditate on. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Yes.
So you mentioned the point about service. Krishna is giving service to everybody. Could you please repeat?
I said that Krishna gives everyone service so that they can come closer to him. So if we know what service Krishna wants us to do, we'll be naturally enthusiastic because Krishna will become pleased if we just know what service we are supposed to be doing. So I said, neither should we be passive and say that no, I'm not qualified, or we also should not override on other services. We should not act in such a way that will destroy others' enthusiasm. We should not take other service. Sometimes it happens in the association of devotees that devotees become very enthusiastic to do all services. But then the problem is that creates disturbance in others' life, devotees' life. And as a result of that, Krishna is not pleased, our own enthusiasm is destroyed. Right? It's like Prabhupada is the best example, right? When Prabhupada first came Saraswati Thakur said that he will do when he will do. Prabhupada said. So Prabhupada did not go and grab someone's position in the mud. I will become temple president. I will do everything. No, Prabhupada has really cultivated the mode of servant of servant. If you read Lilamrita, you realize Prabhupada is really, really humble. Like completely the way Prabhupada is now. Of course, Prabhupada is the same, but as much as Prabhupada was Acharya and traveling, that much Prabhupada was so humble. So humble means so humble. You know that what is it? Would sleep on the floor. You know, whoever sadhus would come every day. Prabhupada would chant 64 rounds the grihastha. I mean, I read this somewhere. Maybe not all the time, but at least I'm just stressing on the mood here. Prabhupada would sleep on the floor. Prabhupada would sacrifice his food, his eating for the sadhus who would come to his home. And Prabhupada would always just support. Others would give class. Prabhupada would sing sometimes. You know, Prabhupada was so humble, so humble. So the thing is that that is very instructive for us. That's why, because that's why ISKCON is so successful, because ISKCON is built not out of buildings. ISKCON is built out of Prabhupada's potency. ISKCON is built out of Prabhupada's example, his internal example, his incredible example. When nobody knew him, when he had no external things manifested, how Prabhupada used to behave. So simple. And Leela has mentioned the evening time in Vrindavan, Prabhupada would just put his sannyas danda and go around sannyas danda and do Nam Sankirtan. So Prabhupada was so simple, such a simple person, and such a humble person, and always trying to, help others. So, and Prabhupada was so much attached to the service. Whatever service Prabhupada is so attached. Like I quoted, right, that how in the winter time, it's winter now in Vrindavan, one time Prabhupada's godbrother, his one is Bhakti Pragyan Pesha Maharaj, said, "Why are you sleeping on the ground? The ground is so cold." Prabhupada said, "No, no, my Guru Maharaj did not ask me to use money for sense gratification. My Guru Maharaj said, if you get money, print books. So therefore, whatever money I get, I'll only use it to print books." So Prabhupada, and also some many days Prabhupada used to go hungry also in the morning. No lunch, no breakfast, no dinner. And Prabhupada had no problem. Prabhupada was not complaining. So this much Prabhupada went. Humility, sacrifice, tolerance, service attitude, simplicity. This is very heart-melting actually. Prabhupada's example is very, very heart-melting. So yeah, we should cultivate those qualities. And actually, mood of Kartik is a mood of sacrifice. If we don't have any other quality, that's okay. But if we have this quality, I want to sacrifice for others. If someone can do the service better, let them do it. Let me assist them. I'm not saying you should give up all your service, but I'm just saying, if sometimes situation comes, we should have that mood. Let me sacrifice for others. Let me stay in the background. We should cultivate that mood. That will be very pleasing to Krishna. Very pleasing to, very pleasing to the previous acharyas, and that will for sure, without a doubt, that will definitely give us mercy for sure. If we cultivate that mode in our service, that will give Krishna great pleasure. Many times we see this, right? One is Gauravad Maharaj also, one devotee, actually Maharaj was there one time, one devotee was doing service, very humble in the background, he was serving very nicely. It apparently looked like Maharaj was not noticing. Maharaj completely ignored him, looked like that. But then one day, when nobody was there, Maharaj called that devotee and embraced him. So that's what happens. See, when you take a humble position, you serve very nicely without any desire for anything. When you do like that, then you get special mercy. You get special mercy. Raghunath Das Goswami in Panihati festival, he was doing all the arrangements. And finally, he he told Nityananda Prabhu that I'm giving this of all the brahmanas, for all the great devotees, and please don't say that I gave it. So finally, Nityananda Prabhu told all the devotees that please bless him. Nityananda Prabhu is saying, please bless him means what is remaining then? Gaurangya Sanigani Nitya Siddha Korimani. So then immediately Raghunath Goswami moved to and moved to spend time with Mahaprabhu personally. You think about it, when you see Mahaprabhu one time, we all sometimes we see, we feel, wow, amazing. What it will feel like to be with Mahaprabhu all the time. Can you imagine? So we should all have that desire, burning desire, that the personification of Radharani's Madhanakya Mahabhav, we should desire the association that